in Kenya, for example, we have a research study underway with IDO, and the local research partner is WORK, the Women's Educational Researchers of Kenya. They have been our key connectors. They understand the local context and have been working really closely with the platform developer, IDO, on addressing and leveraging the learning app and platform that they have deployed. That said, again, I will reference that our research does span high-tech, low-tech, and no-tech solutions and the realities of different environments in rural versus urban centers. I will also say, with regards to translating the evidence into action, it's really important to make sure that the evidence is digestible, so that we really think about how we package our research findings, recognizing that we definitely want to be able to publish. We work with PIs from major universities who definitely want to publish some of their research findings, but then we're challenged with, again, paywalls, etc. So making sure that we have priority on accessible findings through policy briefs, guidance documents, interactive tools, direct advisory support. So a myriad of different ways to action some of the findings that we are finding. That said, there are challenges. We run into challenges of a fragmented education evidence ecosystem. We definitely run into challenges around how scale is defined or cost effectiveness, and just making sure that we are transparent on synthesizing our findings across our studies with regards to learning outcomes or learning adjusted years of schooling, etc. And then really thinking about some of, like I said earlier, some of these adaptive learning methodologies, rapid evidence reviews, real-time data collection to bridge some of the gap. We also have a very unique offer that we call our help desk, where we provide an on-demand service to major donor partners like UNICEF, like the World Bank, like FCDO, in order to help translate and elevate the evidence in the space. So even when the evidence is strong, though, translating small-scale successes into widespread, sustainable policy changes remains a challenge. So definitely an area that we need to prioritize as a sector, and really it requires cross-sector engagement, government leaders, implementers, funders, all categories to really support the scale-up of successful strategies. I'll pause there.
Sure, fantastic. Such fascinating examples that you've used, and also just so encouraging to hear your approach to diverse ways of knowing and diverse ways of producing knowledge, and also putting that knowledge in actionable knowledge, in particular, usable knowledge. And so there's such rich experiences that you've shared. Thank you very much for that. We have to wrap this session up, and so I'm just going to conclude by asking both of you, in your call to action. We've got many participants here who are teachers, who are policymakers from all over the world. What is the one-word call to action to the community who's participating in today's session? Natalie, your one-word call to action.
Oof, one word. I guess like AI proofing skills, and I'll just a little bit more. I think for teachers, schools, school systems, policymakers, I know everyone is worried and thinking about AI. There's some optimism, but also lots of potential to widen the digital divide. So I think, in my opinion, for AI proofing skills, we need to think about what human skills AI cannot replace. And a lot of that is systems design, systems thinking, identifying what the important problems are, even if the AI systems can do the calculations and provide options for solutions very quickly.
Sure, thank you. Many, many one words. Thank you, Natalie. Appreciate it. Verna?
Unfortunately, I don't have one word either, but I will say that I'm going to focus on two target groups, students and teachers. I love the fact that, Natalie, your work involves student voice, and so important to make sure that as students, we create opportunities for student voice. To students, I would say, speak up. Tell us, what works for you. Digital learning should empower you, not exclude you. So advocate for inclusive design, for your role in inclusive design. And then with teachers, I would say the same thing. The voice of teachers is so critical in shaping the experiences for edtech solutions. And so demand better job embedded PD, peer learning opportunities and tools that enhance your teaching rather than adding more to your plate. So those are the two groups that I think are super important in all that we do and want to keep them front and center.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Verna. Also, more than a few words, more than the one word, but certainly really, really insightful, extremely stimulating insights. Thank you very much. And a lovely, lovely segue into our next session, which is really about the voices of teachers and students and teacher trainers and so on. So thank you both for a fascinating discussion. And let us then move to the next segment, where we will hear about the rich experiences of teachers across different schools in Namibia. So it is our privilege to welcome Mr. Barry Kruger, who is an advisor to the digital school. And he'll be offering a brief introduction to the rich conversation that he has had with 5 teachers from Namibia, Miss Esther Namupa, Miss Tungombili Simeon, Mr. Pelling Sabuta Maswahu, Mr. Taliad Uaputuaka, and Mr. Lucas Kaliata Maseku. Welcome to all of you. Over to you, Mr. Kruger.
Thank you, Shafika. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Yes, I'm going to talk about that in a second. I just want to say that last session with Natalie and Verna was really inspiring. I just want to focus on one point that Verna made, actually, which is not just the importance of skills development in our educators, but the ability to integrate those skills, especially digital skills, into classroom practice. And in a minute, we will be hearing from our 5 educators in Namibia about the particular challenges they face, which are many and varied, and the ways in which our professional development programs have been helping them adapt. Just quickly before I do that, an introduction to the digital school. We are an online hybrid, actually, school providing global learning opportunities to marginalized learners wherever they are, actually. We work across 3 continents at the moment. Students who may not have the access and opportunities for learning that we take for granted. As Her Excellence Huda said earlier in her keynote, we're working in over 20 countries worldwide. We work directly with countries with ministries of education in those countries. We have local teams. We help to digitize curricula. We provide digital content and lessons through our learning management system. We also work to provide safe, equitable and accessible learning opportunities and learning spaces, actually, with access to devices and connectivity. And in particular in that last one, working with strategic partners. And last but definitely not least, providing support and professional development for our educators. They are a key part in this equation, and it's that last point that I'm going to focus on today. We realized very early on that we can't achieve, that we want to achieve in terms of true impact for our learners without confident and skilled educators. And in fact, Her Excellency Uda made 4 key principles clear in her keynote earlier on, and one of those was educator empowerment. That is absolutely crucial to what we want to do. And if you go back to, I think it's the last Global Education Monitoring Report that UNESCO produced, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, 94 million teachers worldwide, but this is only a fraction, of the amount that we need to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals that we've set ourselves for 2030. I think the statistic was 58%, which is 163 million teachers we need. That's part of the problem. Capacity is part of the problem, but it's a twofold problem. It's also not just building capacity; it's building competencies, skills, and most importantly, confidence to be able to deliver what we expect them to deliver as technology changes day to day. And one of the things we found is that motivation is not a problem. You will hear from our 5 educators, they are extremely motivated. They really want to do this. But what we find is that you just find out sometimes a lack of professional qualification, for example, because they haven't had the opportunity to do the formal kinds of professional development that we may expect. There may be some intimidation by the types of technology that we're now expecting to be used in classrooms. So that's really what's behind what the digital school has been doing with our professional development programs. Last year, we set up a program called the Digital Educator Global Academy, which, we've been running professional development programs since we started, which is nearly 4 years ago now, but we formalized these into the Academy, the Digital Educator Global Academy, or DEGA for short, last year, which is a professional development initiative for the teachers and educators who do face challenges to traditional methods of teaching and learning, and the ways that they can overcome those by using digital technologies. And it's designed to deliver the skills, knowledge, and confidence to use technology, to reach the kinds of students that we're trying to reach, the marginalized learners. Again, it's a hybrid delivery model. So we do have a learning management system. We deliver these courses digitally, but we also have face-to-face training. We do train the trainer approaches, cascade approaches, those sorts of things. So it is a combination of the two, a sort of a hybrid approach. And we've had great success, actually. Since launching the Academy last year, we've had 10,000 course graduations in our Digital Educator course, which we deliver in 5 languages, soon to be 6, and hopefully 7, actually, one of which is Kurdish. We're hopefully moving to Portuguese, and potentially soon Bahasa, which is Indonesia. We work in partnership, and again, a point was made earlier on about the fact that co-creation. I think that was Werner again. Actually, co-creation is a really important part of this. We can't achieve this on our own. We work in partnership with Arizona State University, who accredit our courses. They provide accredited training opportunities. They help us devise and develop our core programs of study. It's certified as well through Arizona State University. Our Digital Educator course is a 4-stage course. The first 2 parts of it, our educators have to complete and be certified within to actually become educators with the digital school. So we have orientation, which is about basics. It's about technologies, how to work with devices, how to work with LMSs, those sorts of things. We then move into elements of the course which are about educating in an online environment before we go into the specifics and the more detailed aspects of supporting self-directed learning and the specific elements of pedagogy and classroom practice, actually, which are needed to kind of achieve the sorts of things we achieve at the digital school. We're focused across a number of different countries. What we're going to look at today, though, is specifically what we've been doing in Namibia. The Namibian cohort was actually our first cohort to graduate from the Digital Educator Global Academy last year. We had a graduation ceremony in Windhoek. It was a beautiful moment, actually. It was great.